This is America, and you don't have the right to feel that fear. And we're still gonna have people who hold to the old ideals, and I was probably one of them some 14 months ago. I'm not gonna put up with it, and I'm not gonna listen to it. And if they don't like my views on it, that's fine. The door goes both ways. I already lost a couple of buddies. I don't care. I feel more comfortable and I can sleep at night.
Well, you're tested every 3 months.
Reggie Flutie.
And I was able to have the DNA test done, so they took me to Fort Collins and drew the blood there, and flew that to Michigan, and then they did the DNA work, which was, well, a week later, I knew I was negative for good.
I'll tell you, we were all on our hands and knees saying Hail Marys.
And you're just elated, you think, thank God!
So what's the first thing she does?
I stuck my tongue right in my husband's mouth. And you're just happy. You're just so happy. You think, yeah, I hope I did this service well. And you hope you did it with some sort of integrity. And so you're just really happy. And my daughters, they just bawled.
They were so happy.
And the force?
Oh boy.
We went out and got wasted. And everybody bought me drinks too, it was great. Everyone was hugging and crying, and I gave everyone who walked through the door.
Now, Reggie, they didn't need to know that.
Male or female, I each gave him a kiss on the lips.
What part of what I just said to you did you not understand?
Oh, get over it, Ma!
Moment, a death penalty case. Almost a year to the day that Matthew Shepard died, the trial for Aaron James McKinney was set to begin.
Probably the question on most of your minds is how the McKinney case will proceed.
Howard Ruka, prosecuting attorney.
And it's the decision of the county attorney's office that will definitely be a death penalty case.
Oh, I believe in the death penalty 100%, because I want to make sure that guy dies. I mean, this is one instance where I truly believe with all my heart, eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth.
Nah, I don't know about the death penalty, but I don't ever want to see them ever walk out of Rollins Penitentiary. I'll pay my nickel or whatever small percentage of tax, a nickel a day, to make sure that he never sees society again, and definitely never walks into my bar again.
I don't believe in the death penalty. It's too much for me. I don't believe that one person should be killed as redemption for his having killed another. Two rogues don't make a road.
How can I protest if the shepherds want McKinney dead? I just can't interfere in that. But on a personal level, I knew Aaron since grade school. He was never called Aaron. He was called AJ. How can we put AJ McKinney? How can we put AJ McKinney to death?
I think right now, our most important teachers are Russell Henderson and Aaron McKinney. They have to be your teachers. How did you learn? What did we, as a society, do to teach you that? See, I don't think most people will want to let them be their teachers. I think it'd be wonderful, actually. The judge said, in addition to your sentence, you must tell your story. You must tell your story.
All rise. State of Wyoming versus Aaron James McKinney. Docket number 6381. The Honorable Barton R. Boyd presiding. The court is in session.
You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and may be used against you in a court of law.
This is an excerpt of that confession.
Okay, so you guys, you and Russ, you guys go to the fireside. So you're at the fireside by yourselves, right?
Yeah.
Where do you go after you leave the fireside?
Well, some kid will never run home.
What's he look like?
Like a queer. Such a queer dude.
He looks like a queer.
Yeah, like a fag, you know?
Okay, and where do you go? Rather, how'd you meet him?
Well, he wanted to run home, and I just thought, well, the dude's drunk, so let's just take him home.
When did you and Russ talk about jacking him up?
We kind of talked about it before.
Okay, now, what happened next?
We drove him out past Walmart. We got over there, and he starts touching my leg and touching my genitals, and I was like, look, I'm not like that. If you touch me again, you're gonna get it. I don't know what the hell he was trying to do, but I beat him up pretty bad. I think I killed him.
What did you beat him with?
I blacked out. My fist, my pistol, the butt of the gun. Wondering what happened to me. I had a few beers, and I don't know. It was like I could see what was going on, but I don't know. It was like somebody else was doing it.
What was the first thing that he said or that he did in the truck that made you hit him?
Well, he put his hand on my leg and slid his hand like as if he was gonna grab my junk.
Moment. Gay panic.
When that defense team argued that McKinney did what he did because Matthew made a pass at him, I just wanted to vomit. Because that's like saying that it's okay. It's like the Twinkie defense when the guy killed Harvey Milk in Moscone. It's the same thing.
As much as part of me didn't want the defense of them saying that it was gay bashing or gay panic, part of me is really grateful. Because I was really scared that in the trial they were going to try and say that it was a robbery or that it was about drugs. So when they used gay panic as their defense, I felt this is good. If nothing else, the truth is going to be told. The truth is coming out.
Moment. Aaron McKinney. Continue.
Did he ever try to defend himself against you or hit you back?
Yeah, sort of. I mean, he tried his little swinging or whatever, but he wasn't very effective.
How many times did you hit him inside the truck before you stopped, before you left him?
I'd say I hit him probably about 3 times with my fist and about 6 times with the pistol.
Did he ask you to stop?
Yeah, he was getting crap at that.
What did he say?
After he asked me to stop, most all he did was screaming.
And Russ kind of dragged him to the fence, I'm assuming, and tied him up.
Something like that. I just remember Russ was laughing at first, but then he got pretty scared.
Was Matthew conscious when Russ tied him up?
Yeah. I told him to turn around and not look at my license plate because I was afraid he was going to tell the police. And so when I asked him what my license plate said, he read it, and that's why I had him a few more times.
Just to be sure. So obviously you don't like gay people.
No, I don't.
You say you hate them?
I mean, I really don't hate them, but, you know,
above entitled case, after having well and truly tried the matter, do unanimously find as follows. As to the charge of kidnapping, we find the defendant, Aaron James McKinney, guilty. As to the charge of aggravated robbery, we find the defendant, Aaron James McKinney, guilty. As to the charge of first-degree felony murder, kidnapping, we find the defendant, Aaron James McKinney, guilty. As to the charge of first-degree felony murder, robbery, we find the defendant, Aaron James McKinney, guilty. As to the charge of premeditated first-degree murder, we find the defendant, Aaron James McKinney, not guilty. As to the lesser included offense of second-degree murder, we find the defendant, Aaron James McKinney, guilty.
Moment. Dennis Shepard's statement. Aaron McKinney was found guilty of felony murder, which meant the jury be given the death penalty. That evening, Judy and Dennis Shepard were approached by McKinney's defense team, who applied for their client's life. The prosecution indicated that they would defer to the family's wishes as to whether or not to pursue the death penalty. The following morning, Dennis Shepard gave a statement to the court. Here is some of what he said.
My son Matthew did not look like a winner. He was rather uncoordinated and wore braces from the age of 13 until the day he died. However, in his all too brief life, he proved that he was a winner. On October 6, 1998, my son tried to show the world that he could win again. On October 12, 1998, my firstborn son and my hero lost. On October 12, 1998, my firstborn son and my hero died 50 days before his 22nd birthday. Keep wondering the same thing I did when I first saw him in the hospital. What could he have become? How could he have changed his piece of the world to make it better? Matt officially died in a hospital in Fort Collins, Colorado. He actually died on the outskirts of Laramie, tied to a fence. You, Mr. McKinney, with your friend Mr. Henderson, left him out there by himself. He wasn't alone. He had made long friends with him. Friends that he grew up with. You're probably wondering who these friends were. First, he had a beautiful night sky. The same stars and moon that we used to see through a telescope. He had the sun to shine from. Through it all, he was breathing in the scent of pine trees from the snowy range. He heard the wind, that ever-present Wyoming wind. Last time, he had one more friend with him. He had God. And I feel better knowing that he wasn't attention on hate. Good is coming out of evil. People have said enough is enough. I miss my son, but I am proud to be able to say that he is my son. Judy has been quoted as being against the death penalty. It has been stated that Matthew was against the death penalty as well. Both of these statements are wrong. Matt believed that there were crimes and incidents that justified the death penalty. I too believe in the death penalty. I would like nothing more than to see you die, Mr. McKinney. However, now is the time to begin the healing process. To show mercy to someone who refused to show any mercy. Mr. McKinney, I give you life as hard as it is for me to do so because of Matthew. Every time you celebrate Christmas, birthday, or 4th of July, remember, Matthew isn't. Every time that you wake up in your prison cell, remember that you had the opportunity and the ability to stop your actions that night. You robbed me of something very precious. And I will never forgive you for that. Mr. McKinney, we pray that you forgive me. May you have a long day. And may you thank Matthew every day for it.
Moment after that. Me and Debris, we hugged and cried, and everybody had tears in their eyes, because you're just so thankful. You know, and Mr. Shepherd started crying, and that got me bawling, and everybody
This
just...
is all we lived and breathed for a year. Daily. This has been my case daily, and now it's over.
Maybe now we can just go on and quit being stuck.
It just hit me today. The minute that I got out of the courthouse, the reason God wanted me to find him was so he didn't have to die up there alone, you know? And if I would have came along, they wouldn't have found him for a couple of weeks at least, so it makes me feel really good that he didn't have to die up there alone. I'm just glad it's over, really. I am. Testifying in that trial was one of the hardest things I've ever done. And don't get me wrong, I love the stage, really. I do, I love it. But it's tough because basically what you have is lawyers questioning you from this angle, but your answers have to be funneled over this way where the jury is. So basically what you have to do is establish a sort of funneling system. And that's tough for me because I'm a natural conversationalist. So it's only instinct that when someone asks you a question, you look at them to make eye contact. But that's kind of tough when you have to literally scooch over, change a position, and in turn, funnel your answers over where the jury is. But I was able to do that several times over the course of my testimony.
Moment. Epilogue.
On our last trip, I had the good fortune of seeing Jedediah Schultz play the role of Pryor in Angels in America.
how could I ever let all this stuff make me think that you were any different from me?
This is Romaine Patterson.
Well, a year ago, I wanted to be a rock star. That was my goal. And now, now it's obviously changed in the fact that throughout the last year, I really realized my role in taking my part. And so now, instead of going to school to be in music, I am going to go to school for communications and political science. Because I have a career in political activism. Actually, I just recently found out that I was going to be honored in Washington, D.C. from the Anti-Defamation League. And whenever I think about my angels or about any of the speaking that I've done, you know, Matthew gave me. Matthew's like guiding this little path with his light for me to walk down. And whenever we get to a door, he opens it. And he says, okay, next step. And if I get to be a rock star on the side, okay.
This is Jonas Sloaker.
Change is not an easy thing, and I don't think people were up to it here. They got what they wanted. Those two boys got what they deserved. And we don't need to talk about it anymore. Justice has been served. The OK Corral. We shot down the villains. We sent the prostitutes on their train. The town's cleaned up now. And we look good. You know, it's been a year since Matthew Shepard died. And they haven't passed shit in Wyoming. At a state level, any town, nobody anywhere has passed anything. Any laws, any anti-discrimination laws or hate crime legislation. No one anywhere is passing anything. And it's like, what's come out of it? What has come out of it that is concrete or lasting?
We all said we would meet again. One last time for Venice.
I put up that site in my own zine, okay? And I remembered it myself. The night he and I drove around together. He said to me, Larry sparkles, doesn't he? Where he was up there? If you sit exactly where he was,